Today, I attempt to answer the age-old question, can you beat Fallout 4 as Agent 47? The rules are simple. I must be stealthy, I must use weapons that are in the Hitman universe, and of course, I have to wear a suit. Like most of my runs of Fallout 4, the first thing I have to do, of course, is make a bald man. For my stats, I put 3 points in strength and plan on using my son's special book to give me an extra so I can make sure I can do some damage with Pikmin's blade that I'll pick up later. Grab 4 points in perception, think I'll need to increase my lockpicking abilities, but forget this is a Bethesda game. And that core mechanic is not necessary, nor really a hindrance for the entire game. Grab 4 points of endurance, try to give me a fighting chance since I'll be in a suit for the entire game. 1 point in charisma, cause who needs to charm people when you can stab them. 3 points in intelligence, so I can get the gun nut perk to get silencers on weapons. I find, which ends up being pretty pointless. 7 points in agility, so I can increase my sneak, and so I can grab perks like Mr. Sandman and Ninja for some max stealth damage. And finally 6 points in luck, so I can be extra lucky with crits for max stealth damage. My first stop is to the Skylines Flight 1981 wreck, as it is my best chance to getting a nice suit. On my way there, I stop by the USAF satellite station just northeast of Concord, so I can grab the fast travel point for later. Now that I have finally arrived at the plane wreck, I make sure to drop down a quick save in case a black suit doesn't randomly spawn. Epic foreshadowing. I then proceed to use dog meat as well, and let him distract the ghouls while I find a suit. His yips of pain hurt me, but my desire to loot a 200-year-old clean black suit out of a suitcase is stronger. After I find one and hoof it out of there, I manage to get immediately killed by an invisible ghoul, which means I now have to have dog meat once again use his body to distract the ghouls. Of course, he's a bad dog and dies pretty quickly, and now I'm left to run away from the ghouls. Now that I finally have a black suit, I can officially start the run. I first travel back to the USAF satellite station. Here, I can grab a covert ops manual to increase my sneak even higher. This was made more difficult because I forgot where the manual actually is. And Dogmeat, in what can only be described as retaliation for abandoning him to ghouls, decides to turn on me and find people to kill me. After unsuccessfully attempting to run through everyone, my chat gives me a great idea. I can't park him outside, he's my dog.
Yo, psst.
Here.
Hold.
Why would you bark? You fucked us! I can assure you this behavior is unacceptable, and this is the end of our relationship. I managed to kill all the raiders with the minigun. Yes, there is a minigun in Hitman, so I'm still okay. Plus, this is my video and my rules. I get to determine what's okay, okay? Jeez. If you have any qualms with this, please let me know down in the comments section, and be sure to argue with yourself for a bit too, so the almighty YouTube algorithm can like me. Anyways, I remember I'm supposed to be stealthy and get rewarded with a level for my ability to recall that I'm supposed to be playing a challenge run. I pick up the manual and finally make my way out of this hellhole. After that, I swing by a house just north of Concord to grab a knife someone has conveniently left on a barbecue pit. Now that I finally have a silent pokey thingy, I can move on to get a silent shooty thingy. To do this, I need to head south to Drumlin Diner and stab some gang members in the back, then head inside to talk to Trudy. And guess what? I have a fever, and the only prescription is a pressed pipe bolt action pistol. Now that I have some equipment, I can make my way downtown. But of course, this story isn't about the destination, but instead, the journey. Oh, look at this. Pickpocket? I can pickpocket this. Oh, which means he's alive! I thought he was bugged. I finally stumble upon Good Neighbor, where I can get a holotape from a homicidal robot to join the railroad. I can then head to the Old North Church and join the railroad in their super secret base using their super secret decoder ring. Now that I've joined up with the railroad, Deacon and I head to the old base to pick up some stuff they left behind, and of course, we do this in the stealthiest way possible. Upon completion, I receive probably the most key element of this run, the Deliverer. Now that I have a couple of good weapons, I had the bright idea of keeping stealthy by picking up the only companion that moves by having a literal jet engine attached to their butt. Codsworth and I head downtown to Pikmin's gallery to get Pikmin's blade. to give me a melee weapon that can match the deliverer in actual usefulness, and as predicted, Codsworth doesn't understand the meaning of stealth at all. We quickly empty the house of all living things, then head downstairs to the underground catacombs, where as far as I can tell, Codsworth is now using the same chainsaw he used to change my son's diaper with to de-arm men. I surprise even myself with how quickly the deliverer melts through slab. Pikmin thanks me for saving his life by forcing me to talk to him for 10 straight minutes, just so I can get a key to open up a safe. Speaking of keys, this blade will be key for me. When I get overwhelmed in scraps, I can just start stabbing and watching the bleed take effect. Now that I have done all that, I can finally start the main quest line, head to Concord, save the Minutemen, of course using my traditional stealthy tactics. After I'm done sneaking around, I make sure to cleanse Concord of the last remaining escorts, and escort everyone back home, then collect my prize of an ever-needy group of human beings. I make sure to ignore all of their requests, and allow them to live in squalor as I venture out into the wasteland. Now, heading to Diamond City, I come upon what can only be described as a raider in downtown Boston. I was wrong.
Oh, what did I shoot him? I just saw Diamond City to security. No. Okay. Maybe if I just kind of play it off like, oh my gosh, that dude that shot you, where did he go? Oh, hey. Okay, yep. After picking up the quest to go save Nick, and making sure to steal all of the contents of the farms in Diamond City, Codsworth and I set out to stealthily kill everyone. In an attempt to outsmart the AI by simply walking past Skinny and his men, I halfway get the result I want by using Codsworth and Nick as robot meat shields, as I manage to not die immediately, and of course whip out old Stealthy to finish everyone off. I hope Skinny's tux will shrink in the dryer as I strip his dead body naked and steal his tux, for the last costume change of this run. Now that we've saved Nick and we can try tracking down Kellogg, we start at his house. Of course, I have no lockpicking abilities and no charisma, so I must use my god-given talent of wealth to buy my way into Kellogg's house. I come back to find Nick loafing around, acting like he's smoking a cigarette to look cool. Since the great detective can't find anything, I employ the help of Dogmeat to help track down Kellogg's serially scent. And, in the way things work, we get attacked by a bear, and I now have to resort to Old Stealthy, wasting what little precious ammo I have left. Epic foreshadowing. We then run into a pack of ghouls, but using Pikmin's blade, I'm even able to make short work of the legendary one in the bunch. We finally make it to our destination, then Codsworth and I go in to start another successful stealth mission. All of my hard work gets paid off with getting lucky and finding the perfect drop of a suppressed 308 rifle, which I immediately use to great success. Since stealth isn't an option when fighting Kellogg, I choose to skip talking to him and just use Old Stealthy to talk on my behalf. This works well for the synths, but shooting a now invisible Kellogg with what little ammo I have left doesn't seem too smart. Luckily, I had a plan in place by picking up Pikmin's blade, and I have drugs, and can wave a knife around like a madman that's high on drugs. Oh, you're dead. After surprising even myself on how well I took out the old cereal boy, I head back to Nick, and he suggests I kick the old robot to the curb for my new robot friend, and I agree. Nick and I then get high together and dive into old cereal boy's brain through his old memories to find the secret way into the Institute. And to make a very long, unskippable dialogue short, we need to pull the teleporting device out of a Terminator synth. Of course, in order to find a Terminator synth, I first need to find my own John Connor, which of course can only be found in a highly irradiated area. And, in the way things work, I run into nothing else but an Alpha Deathclaw in the wild. I also, luckily, run into the Brotherhood of Steel. I let the two work out their issues, and I move forward with my own task. Now that I've finally gotten to an area dealing with literal nuclear bomb fallout with no equipment able to resist radiation, I fall into the second most faithful thing I have in this run. Drugs. It's drugs. Drugs are the second most faithful thing in this run. I make sure to pump myself up with every bit of Rad-X my body can take, and finally make my way to the Crater of Adam, where I find crazy people who are hiding the location of John Connor from me. I have zero ability to talk with people, but because this is Bethesda, I still get the marker for the next part of the quest anyway.
As you can see on the red timer on the bottom left of the screen, it takes me some time to get to John Connor's cave. But I make it unscathed. John Connor tells me where I can find a Terminator synth, so I head a few blocks east from the Institute's secret headquarters to find one in Green Tech Genetics. Of course, he fails to mention that the human resistance is already here and wants to steal my prize from me. This doesn't work for my schedule, so I do the only thing that comes to mind, to start stabbing and shooting everybody. I finally reach the Termasynth and empty what little ammo I have left in Old Stealthy, and it only amounts to about a fifth of his health bar. So, I move to once again my second most faithful thing, drugs, and of course, my knife. Through lots of stabbing and more drugs, I managed to take him down, thanks to the fact that synths can bleed, and my knife makes things do that. I pick up the chip in his brain and despite him, the clothes off of his back, and head out of there. I head to the railroad to give them a one-of-a-kind microchip to a homeless man with the first name Tinker. Through Tinkerbell's hobo magic and John Connor's superhuman, almost mutant powers, I now magically have plans to build a teleportation platform out of some old junk. They tell me to put it somewhere safe, so I put it in the only safe place I know / can actually build at, my home. Luckily, I've been collecting junk as I go, so I have plenty to build with. After I've infiltrated the Institute and have Fallout 4 crash on me, I make sure to infiltrate it again. I find out that the father has actually been the son the whole time. Now that I have my dad's son on my side, I activate Master Hitman mode and act like I'm going to start helping the Institute by helping them annihilate a city while being attacked by the Brotherhood of Steel at the same time. With the help of a Termasynth, we kill all the squishy people, even the ones in power armor, and we find some escaped synths, and I tell them to go to sleep. After that, I head back to the Institute to join a meeting with my dad's son and his Bond villain Tropiness. He tells me his evil plan to destroy the world in detail. I then head off with one of the synth scientists to get a jump starter for their nuclear reactor. Of course, in the aptly named Mass Fusion building. That is guarded by none other than the Brotherhood of Steel. With lots of cheese and a little bit of luck, we manage to get through the basement where the reactor is, where I employ my hardcore parkour skills and grab the jump starter with nothing more than the clothes on my back and the drugs in my veins. I then go onto the display, one of the finest cheese spreads known to mankind, destroy the very overpowered Sentry Bot, and then walk out of the building. After which, I am rewarded by being asked to give a speech for the entire city. But, smartly, they give me a script to follow. I am told by my dad's son that I apparently did a confusing job, which seems apt as his existence confuses me. After everyone hears my speech, we head downstairs, where the game definitely won't end, and dad's son asked me to put the highly irradiated thingy in the thingy. Now, we head back upstairs for a meeting that I get to lead since dad's son thinks I'm a big boy now, where I spend 10 real-life minutes telling them all they're all stupid dum-dum heads. I then head back downstairs to tell dad's son about the meeting, and he tells me that I should kill the leader of the railroad. No. After which, I get tipped off that the Brotherhood is planning a surprise party for the railroad, but with guns. So, I head back quick to tell them, but still try to act surprised. I help them fight off the Brotherhood by using my sweet gun skills and the railroad's human bodies as shields. I then proceed to refine my cheese by jumping back and forth into the railroad HQ, which allows me to keep getting sneak damage. After I bravely fought off the surprise Brotherhood party, we head to the police station to riot and steal shit. Of course, trained as a hitman, I am proficient with a sniper rifle, and clear the place from a safe distance away. Now that they're all gone, we steal the vertibird, and we head off to the Brotherhood HQ. I have to plant 3 bombs in the Brotherhood HQ, then I can get out of here. I do so in the usual way, cheese, and bad NPC AI design. We fly off in a blaze of glory as flames and the charred flesh of humans rain down on Boston. Now it's time. We are going to attack the Institute. I first need to clear the way for everyone to come through the portal. Now that they are here, Desdemona gives me a little bomb to make the big bomb go boom. We blast our way through, killing all the synths in our path. So finally, synths can be free. Rest in power, Harambe. Anyway, we continue to kill more synths, and well, Deacon has an interesting strategy. We head down into the reactor, where my super gun skills get to shine once again. After I've killed most of the synths in Boston, I once again get volunteered to go into the highly irradiated area, and this time remember, I am planting a bomb to make a bigger bomb. Since I'm not an animal, I invite my fake son to come live with me and learn the family trade. And with that, I have beaten Fallout 4 as Agent 111. And if you liked that, please hit like on the video, and if you want to see more, hit subscribe. If you want to see more videos, here's some here. Click that one. Yeah, that one's a good one. Click it. Click it!